Good afternoon. I'm sitting here with Tom Spellane at Waterbury Field. My name is Shirley Nichols and I am an ex-executive director of the Darien Land Trust. And today we're sitting in Waterbury Field, which was a very big acquisition for the Land Trust back in 2008. We were contacted by the Jocelyn family, who had owned this whole property for a very long time, and they offered to sell us, as part of a bargain sale, this piece of the property for $1.3 million. And that was, I think, sometime in 2007, but we were given a December 31 deadline, 2008. And we started our fundraising process, and I think everybody probably remembers that back in September 2008, there was a big financial crash, and we worried that we wouldn't be able to raise the money that we needed to acquire the property, and then we would have missed the deadline. But we did. We raised $650,000, and we used $650,000 of land trust money that we had for that acquisition fund. And then after the property was closed in December 31, we started to make improvements to the property. First, we put in the split rail fence that you can see all the way along the border. And next, we added these native trees, the flowering dogwoods and the crab apples. And then the next improvement that we made was to create the river birch grove. And the land review committee at that time was Charlie Goodyear and Jim Millard. And when we were having the most difficulty with the fundraising, they kept the campaign going. And we were also really lucky that people in the town and the town of Darien came forward, and Weburn, our neighbor, also helped us a lot in the fundraising effort. Also, we put in this pollinator garden because we wanted to show as a specimen garden that people could plant a similar bed in the garden, and Eve McGarr of the Garden of Eve helped us with that. Chris Filmer and Dan Frelinghausen were head of the stewardship committee at the time and helped with all these different improvements.
Like Shirley said, I'm Tom Spellane. I joined the Land Trust at the request of my good friend Chris Filmer. And Chris, as you may know, has dedicated his life to conservation of property in Connecticut, specifically in Darien. He has spent numerous hours, untold hours, working in Selleck's Woods and by Denlop Lake. He has really dedicated all his retirement years to that. I was not as avid as Chris, and I left the Land Trust several years ago. While I was on the Land Trust, I was working in land acquisition as my primary task. And my principal acquisition was really didn't take much work by me, but I received a phone call from Ann Mandel, whose husband Steve was a former president of the Land Trust. And she decided she wanted to give her house, which is located on Long Ridge Road and Weburn Lane. And that property, she stipulated that she didn't want anything left on the property. So there's nothing now on the property. We took that house down, took all the outbuildings down. There's no concrete on the property anymore. And it's lovely because it's adjacent to several of our other properties on Hollow Tree. So we are very pleased with the acquisition. We thank the Mandels very much for their kindness and thoughtfulness to make the property the Darien Land Trust.